Hey, Emma here, and we are going to be exploring how these colors can all become these colors. So this is our 12 color wheel mixed from just 3 primary colors, and we were able to expand it to secondaries and tertiaries, but how often are you actually painting with just these colors? For me, I'm a wildlife artist, so I need a lot of browns, but how do we also get gray and even a black from mixing the primaries? I'm going to show you. So firstly, not only is this tool great for, color mixing, and I've got a video on turning 3 colors into 12, so you can figure out how to get all these ones in between. But it's great for helping you with color schemes as well. I've also got a video on that. But it's also great for helping you quickly identify which 2 colors from this wheel should you grab to mix together to make neutrals. And the way you do that is with complementary colors. So any color combination that is opposite each other on the color wheel is going to neutralize each other. So you might be wondering, well, why would you call it complementary? They are complementary when used together. Often I will recommend dulling one down instead of using them both at their full capacity. They can actually fight for attention too much when you use them at full strength. But when you've got like a little bit of one and a lot of the other, or one is more diluted, or one is even dulled down using the complement, then they work beautifully together. So what I recommend you do when you're wanting to mix neutrals is see whatever is opposite one of your primaries and go with that. So for primary yellow, you want to mix it with violet. For primary red, and I use a more magenta red, you want to go with green. And for primary blue, you want to go with orange. Now, that's not to say you can't use any other combination directly opposite each other on the color wheel. I'm just trying to make your life easier and my own, because we then don't have to mix up one of them. We can get the color directly from the pan or tube, and we just have to mix up the complement. If you pick something like yellow orange and blue violet, you're going to have to create 2 separate mixes before you start creating a neutral. So I'm just trying to save you a bit of time there. You can grab one pure color and then just mix up the other. So I'm going to show you a bunch of different color results that you can get from mixing the primary colors into their complement, as well as how to turn that into more of a gray, a dirty blue gray denim color, which I use a lot, and also black. But we were just talking about the split primary palette in the last video, so I'm going to show you neutralized color mixes you can get from these as well, using the 2 different primaries and their opposite. Let's jump into some of these color combos. We are going to start with yellow and violet. So I'm using my 3 primary colors here. I'll list them in the description if you want to know exactly which pigments, but I'm going to use my primary red and blue to make a violet. And then we are going to bit by bit transition that color into the other. So I'm starting by putting the darker color into the lighter color, and then I'm going to swatch it down once I mix it thoroughly through that puddle. This is not how I would normally color mix. If I just needed a brown, I'd smush like 50% of each together. But what I wanted to show you was all the different shades you can get in between, because you might be looking for a golden sand color and wondering how to get that. And you can get that by starting with yellow and adding a little bit of violet. Now I've run out of color here and it hasn't gone too dark, so I've mixed some more. But what you're going to see is I get a limit to how dark it's going to go. I'm kind of just doing more of the same. It's not changing, it's not going any darker, it's just making this deep purpley brown color. So this is when, if you need a darker color, mix something darker in. So I've just chucked some blue in, mix that all the way through. Now I can bring that back to more of a brownie color by putting some more of the original purple in. But this is how I would also get my blue-gray colors. And what I want you to do is start training your eye to see what color bias is sitting there. I chucked some more red in when I saw that there was more of a green tone happening in my top mixture, and that helped cancel that out. So if you're struggling to get a deep enough color of a neutral from your mixes, try adding in something like blue, because that's darker than all the other primary colors on your palette, and then see what you get. It might go too far the other way, but you can always bring it back. I think a lot of people are scared of color mixing because they feel like they did it wrong and they ruined it, or they're wasting paint. Yeah, you probably are going to waste a little bit of paint in the beginning, but when you're mixing neutrals anyway, it's just going to get muddy regardless. So just because you didn't get the right color the first time doesn't mean you shouldn't try again. Obviously, if your intention was to get more of a golden yellow color and you've ended up with more of a brownie black color, you might need to start over. But that's okay, you are going to learn. And once you've got enough of each primary color in your mixture, that is actually how you are going to get a black color. The next combination we're going to look at is red and green. And again, I'm going to start by putting the darker color into the lighter color. So some green into the red. Now, as we go, each combination is going to get less and less. I'm chalking this up to the yellow being really opaque and a bit harder to turn, and the red being a bit more transparent, and just the blue in the final mixture just being really powerful. My blue is the most powerful color on my palette. It stains everything, including my hands, and I feel like that is why I got such a shorter range of colors there. So we're going through here, I noticed a color bias. I added in some yellow. I'm running out of depth, so I'm adding in my darker color blue. And now we are getting into more of a gray color already. I decided to mix an orange and throw that in there as well and see if I could bring it back a little bit. I'm just playing around and having fun, throwing little bits of each color in there to see what we get. This is the best way for you to learn color mixing, is to just try, swatch things out and see what you get. Moving on to my Old Faithful, I love using blue and orange. It is my go-to. So I'm going to start with orange and then we're going to slowly put some blue into that and see what we get. Now, if you're wondering which of these three you should use for your portraits, it's completely up to you. I always go towards blue and orange just because I like the variety of colors in there. I'm often needing brown, but I'm really drawn to gray, dark, denim-y, Payne's grayish colors. And I find that I get them best from this combo almost easily because it's got blue in it in its natural form. Now, you're going to see me adding a ton of red into these mixtures that I didn't do in the others. That is because whenever I do blue and orange, it just turns green. It just must be something with these primaries. I'm not bothered by it though. I just adjust accordingly and keep going. But what you just saw is not how I normally color mix. I don't do this gradient swapping one bit into the other and swatching out a million different versions. I'm normally just throwing my colors together. So what I also wanted to include in this video was a more real-time look at how I create my color mixes. So I'm going to create a brown from all three mixes, yellow and violet, red and green, blue and orange, and show you in real time how I make that happen. So I've mixed up some violet, I had a little bit of yellow on my palette, and I've just immediately chucked a brush load in and got the color. Now, on reflection and when this dried, it looked quite violet. It looked all right on the paper now, but it did dry quite purpley. So, you know, I probably could have checked that a little bit more and put a little bit more yellow in it. But realistically, this is just how I mix my neutrals. It's very quick. I'm throwing things together. So I'm going to do the red and green one now, throw some red on the palette, then mix up a green next to it, using my primary blue and yellow, then start to throw some red into that until I get a nice neutrally brown color. I don't have enough, so I'm putting even more red in there and just adjusting as I go. It's not a perfect science. Every time you do it, you're going to get something a little bit different. Lean into that. That's why I like it, because I feel like there's endless possibilities. It's not just one shade of brown that I get from a tube and all I can do is adjust the value by diluting it. I can get these amazing different shades of brown every time I color mix and by just adjusting the puddle a tiny bit. Now for my favorite orange and blue, I've dumped some blue into some orange mixture. It's gone a little bit too far the other way, so I'm going to pull it back and add some yellow and red. And we've got a nice brown color there. That just happens to be my favorite one. But hey, if you are painting something primarily with yellows and violets in it and you need a brown, I would recommend using the yellow and violet mixture. It's just going to make things a little bit more harmonious. The benefit of color mixing from primary colors is everything is a little bit more harmonious anyway, because they all come back to 3. But that's just another way you can decide between which mixture you want and tie it in together. And now for grays and blacks, how do we even create them? So what you want to do to get started with practicing this is put equal amounts of each primary color on your palette. And if you've got tube paint, you can just squeeze out equal sized blobs. And then we're going to mush them all together. You basically just need a little bit of yellow, red, and blue. And I recommend just starting with equal portions and adjusting as you go. You're not going to get the perfect color the first time, probably. I mean, maybe you're a superstar, but you're certainly not going to see me achieve the right color straight away. But you just keep adding bits and pieces, and whenever you see an undertone, cancel it out with its opposite until you get what you need. So I've mushed them all together now, and it's still looking very blue-green, so it's not quite what we're after, but hey, that's a beautiful color, and I would definitely use that in my portraits. I love this kind of color. So let's swatch that down. Not quite dark enough, so what can we do here? I'm going to add some yellow in there, and I'm going to turn it a little bit more green, and then I'm going to neutralize that with some red. Now we're looking a little bit darker, a little bit grayer. And of course, to get a gray and a range of grays, you can just water these colors down, dilute them. I'm going to add a little bit more yellow in there, a little bit more red. It's looking a bit purpley now, so let's chuck some blue in. We're just adjusting and seeing how we go. This is a beautiful denim-y blue-gray color, but I think we can do better. So I'm going to mix up an orange color off to the side and dump that straight in. That is just going to take some of that coolness out of that mixture that we had. I'm going to throw some more blue in there because it was looking brown. Playing with it again, adding some red. Whatever I see peeking through, and this is why you want to mix the color all the way through the puddle so that you're not surprised by anything. Whatever you see peeking through, add the opposite to cancel it out. Now I'm pretty proud of this black. I think I did a really good job mixing this color. I don't always get it right. And I'm not above using a pre-made black. I do have a black and a white that live on my palette, even if the art police hate it. It's just for convenience, and I don't often use black in large areas. I'm usually using it for pupils and nostrils or whiskers, but if I need it in a larger area, I do like to mix it myself because I think it just makes it more dynamic, more interesting with different color biases peeking through. So because we were just looking at a split primary palette recently, and I was really excited by the different secondaries we got from them, the different mixes, I wanted to find out what would happen when creating neutrals. I thought, I got some really kind of interesting, they're still bright, but more dulled down versions of some mixes. So what would happen if I intentionally tried to mix brown? So here we have our different color combinations. Now I've saved you from watching me swear and make little mistakes on all of my labeling. But what I essentially did here was grab a primary yellow, a primary red, primary blue, and then mix it into different variations. But because I had two versions of each primary, it extends even further. So we have the cool yellow and the warm yellow mixes, the cool red and the warm red mixes, the cool blue and the warm blue mixes, and then each of the secondary colors is made up of a different combination. So that is what my labeling is all about. Cool red, cool blue to make violet, cool red, cool blue to make violet, cool red, warm blue to make violet, same there. Warm red, cool blue, warm red, warm blue. Now this is not to say that these are the only browns or neutral colors that you can get from these. I really just did kind of like a 50-50 mix. So you could stretch these even further by doing something like this where you gradually add one color into the other. I just didn't want to spend 8 years doing that, but I enjoyed these color mixes. I will say this is my go-to for any brown is to use blue and orange, and these compared to these probably look a lot more consistent, but the reason is, and the problem is, whenever I mix blue and orange with my particular primary colors, it always leans a bit green, and so I went in and added a bit more red where that was happening. Whereas these ones, they probably look a bit more random, this one looks a bit more purple because I didn't go back in and adjust that. I just painted the mixture I created, but because these were just looking obscenely green, and I don't know why it always happens with my colors, there must be some undertone in there that likes to make things green, I did go and neutralize them a little bit further. And that's the beauty of this, is that you can just keep canceling out whatever undertone you see. So if I found that mixture on my palette was looking too purple, add some more yellow. Yes, at the end of the day, we end up with all color mixes that involve each of the primaries, but I just love it. I love color mixing. It is a really relaxing and fun activity for me. And with all of these color combinations, if you just kept adding more and more in and mudding and dirtying it up, you would eventually get some kind of gray or black mixture as well. I hope this video was helpful and you now feel equipped to go and intentionally make some mud, and I'll catch you in the next one.